Welcome back to the Zero Weakness Podcast, where we talk about how to be a better lifter, how to be a better coach, and everything in between. Make sure you subscribe and enjoy.
Welcome back to the Zero Weakness Podcast. Our podcast is sponsored by the lovely people at Establishment Coffee. So if you want 25% off your order and free shipping, go to establishmentcoffeeco.com and use the code 025. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very right. I have huge news.
What?
Uh-oh. Brace yourself.
Here we go.
I'm 2 Lord of the Rings deep with Meg.
You are not.
Yep.
What does she think?
She loves it.
Yes. I knew she would. Proud of you, Meg.
2 deep. So, yeah, did the whole fellowship on Sunday.
Oh,
and
unreal.
we've split 2,000 into the last 2 nights.
Are you watching the extended editions or no?
I'm just watching it on...
whatever streaming
on
service
Prime,
it's on.
yeah. I've got the DVDs, but that would mean setting up my DVD player, so couldn't be bothered.
Speaking of that, I went to my parents on the weekend, and I had the login details for Disney Plus, and we watched Alien.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm like, I can give you my login details for Disney Plus, and it's got everything on there. And they insisted that they would rather put the DVD on, so they set the DVD player up. And I don't know what it is with like older people, but I don't know. They just like older technology.
It's nostalgia.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Especially when you can get like deleted scenes and behind the scenes.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean, you don't watch it, but it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
Lately, speaking of nostalgia, lately NBA players are bringing like old school camcorders to games
Yes.
and like filming on that. It's cool.
And Gen Z take out digital cameras now when they go for nights out and stuff, apparently. Like we used to do back in the day.
Well, yeah. Evan was telling me, so when we went to Europe, Meg was hell-bent on taking a film camera. Like, oh. It's like, so it's the new white girl thing. No offense, Meg. But Evan, who works at a camera store, was telling me that he wished he bought up all the film a year ago because it just sat there. No one ever bought it. And now because it's come an Instagram thing, you can't find it anywhere.
Wow.
So the reason I even got onto the conversation with Evan is because we went to Meg got her hands on a film camera, and we went to maybe 6 places, and and all online, nothing, no film anywhere.
That's crazy.
But, Evan had a stockpile at home, so he gave us some. And then because I haven't used a film camera since I was about 8 years old, we didn't really know how to use it, so we butchered it and didn't get any photos. So that was great.
Portra 400, is that what you got?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, that's
It's a type of film.
Yeah,
So
that's
hang on, back to the Lord of the Rings. What does she think so far? Sorry.
Back to what's important here.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, she's quite into it. Lots of questions, stays
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
Upset when it ends and wanting to know more, so she's hooked.
That's great.
It's great news.
That's fantastic news.
Great news.
I wonder which movie will be her favourite.
It's got to be Two
Two
Towers.
Towers.
You just can't go
Two
past
Towers,
it.
hands down.
What one's my favorite?
She can't.
Two Towers. Yeah.
She just can't watch battle scenes. She's a bit of a pansy.
Oh, really?
It
They're the best part.
Covers her eyes, especially like the Battle of Helm's Deep is like
That's the best part.
hours long.
She's so nice.
She's got a thing about necks.
Oh, yeah?
Doesn't like necks being,
Yeah, she
cut or
mentioned
slit.
that. Yeah.
but likes horror genre, which is all necks being slit. So I maintain like you can't like horror and not watch the movie. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we grateful for? James, I'm sure you're grateful for an abundance of lids in your house.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Oh my God.
Still haven't returned.
No, I haven't. Hey, no, actually, I've got some.
Thursday last week.
No, I've got containers in the fridge, so take one of them. So I haven't done that in ages.
It still cuts deep.
Yeah, I used to steal one of Thomas's lids every week for his containers, and he reminded me of it on Friday.
I reminded myself of it when I went to pack my food away, and I was like, "Oh, I'm missing a lid."
I like how you just know it's me. I just see it on the desk. I'm like, yeah, take that.
Well, I was explaining to Meg, it's actually a team collaboration of ruining my life. So, Gidge is great and washes all the dishes. So she washes the dishes. It ends up in the clean pile, and then James just
Yeah,
goes,
I was going to say I stacked them all.
swipes them all.
Nice.
Yeah, true. Actually,
Yeah.
we both got the same containers.
Yeah.
except his is a little bit bigger.
And rattier.
I am grateful for. Is this silly? But air conditioning.
No, that's not silly
Not
at
silly
all.
at all.
So the other week I was, because we weren't turning on the aircon until like midday. I was so drained. You forget how fucking hot and drained you get just sitting there. like when you're on the computer and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're very grateful for the air conditioning we have in this wonderful facility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Amen.
nice.
Let it be a lesson to any other gym owners listening to this. I bought the air conditioning out of the proceeds of competitions.
Nice.
So don't complain about running APU competitions and then not getting any money. Change feds. Make some money for your gym. Buy some awesome air conditioning. I bought the aircon. I bought the fans. I bought 6 of our combo racks. I bought an entire gym worth of plates over the last 3 years, all from comp proceeds.
Fucking A.
Amazing.
That's how this gym's awesome.
All right. Gidge, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my mum and dad.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went and saw them on the weekend, and they live ages away, and it's such a long trip, and it's pretty tiring getting out there. But yeah, I wish I could spend more time with them. But they're going to be here in 6 weeks,
Oh, nice.
so that'll be nice.
No kangaroos harmed in the making of
No
this trip?
kangaroos. I only saw one wallaby on the whole drive there.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and a bunch of emus, but they were like away. So.
Oh, I want to see
Nice.
some emus.
Yeah, you see them all the time on the drive out there. Heaps of emus. Saw an echidna. I haven't seen a koala in the wild yet.
Ah.
Yeah, no koalas.
Tell them about those big birds that you saw.
Big
the-
birds. Emus.
No. The wedge-tail.
Oh, wedge-tailed eagles. They're
Oh,
huge.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, they're enormous.
Have you seen them?
Just on the
Yeah.
side of the road.
They're nasty,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
They got like huge legs too, like tree trunks.
The biggest bird
They're
or
the biggest. Yeah, I think
eagle?
they're the biggest eagle, like the biggest
Flying
flight bird, whatever you want to call it, in the world. But the biggest bird in the world is an ostrich, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is that? It must be the biggest raptor. Because the biggest wingspan is an albatross.
Well, the biggest land bird
Okay.
is an ostrich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're,
But
they're so majestic, though. The eagles. They're so
oh
nice.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the hawks in New Zealand.
Yeah.
When you're driving in the country, there's heaps of hawks.
Mm.
They're just so cool looking.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Philippines
and-
has some pretty massive eagles.
I drove through another bushfire. This was the second bushfire I've driven
Oh,
through
what?
out there. Yeah.
She sent me a video and she's like, oh, I just kept driving because I thought it was back burning. And in the video, the roads are on fire on each side. I'm like,
Driving through literal hell.
like, that is not back burning. How could you see this?
You don't really have a choice but to keep driving though. There's one road, and if I had to turn around, it would have added hours to my trip.
Like
You're
it's on the road.
You're literally driving
Pretty
through
sure
a fire.
that's not private property. It's being back
Well,
burned right now.
When it was far away, it looked like this tiny little cloud of smoke, and then you got
Yeah.
closer, and it was enormous. And I could see the road was clear, so I just kept going. And then like 7 fire trucks flew past me going in the opposite direction. So
You gotta
yeah, it
play-
must have got pretty big.
See, when someone accuses you of that, you have to play the card of like expertise by genetics. So it's like, oh, I'm a country girl. I know what to do.
I tried to do that once when there was a brown snake in my stairwell when I was drunk about 10 years ago.
Gosh.
Yeah. Got home and there was this baby brown snake there, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, we deal with these all the time in the bush. I've never dealt with a snake in my entire life, but because I'd had a few drinks, I thought I could handle it. But I got sent inside and the neighbor got it. So.
Nice.
Do you know
That's
what's the worst?
Wait, what, did you do something? Did you grab?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
was going to get a towel and just like pick it up and put it outside.
That's a terrible idea.
I know, because the baby ones are just as poisonous as the big ones.
What were you going to say, James?
I was just going to say, that's the worst when someone makes an assumption like that. Like, oh, get Thomas. He'll know how to do it. And then all of a sudden you feel obliged that you have to do this thing you have no idea what
Everyone's
to do.
leaning on you to
No.
move the snake.
I was going to say, the inexperienced people from New Zealand here. I think it was at a couple of comps ago. James was like, "Come, bro, you have to see the snake outside." I'm like, "Oh, snake!" We went out. It was like a little lizard.
Yeah, Thomas was like, oh, it's got legs. I was like, oh, shit.
Wait, do snakes have legs? I can't remember these ones. Oh. I'm hoping I see some cool stuff. I have to drive from Sydney to Orange, which I'm really excited about and thrilled. Bathurst, sorry, not Orange. I can't wait. It's going to be the highlight of my 5 a.m. Saturday and like 7 p.m. Sunday, the 3-hour drive. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm going to drive back after the comp, which will finish at 7 or 8 p.m. So the drive is all country. So I'm a little bit nervous in terms of kangaroos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereabouts will you be? Like when you first start driving at 5 a.m.? Will you be like quite inland?
Yeah, that drive will be fine because it'll be Sydney to Bathurst.
Yeah.
But on the way back, will be Bathurst to Sydney at like 7 p.m.
You're starting driving at 7 p.m.?
Yeah, probably.
the country go, oh.
I mean, I could stay another
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, I No,
But-
you
but
don't
then
drive
I-
at night in the bush.
The problem is if I stay another night, I have to get up at like 4 p.m. anyway. 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
or
and then
some-
that's just as dangerous.
Yeah. So I don't know whether to just commit to it or not.
Is it?
Drive
Is it just
slow.
as dangerous?
It is, yeah, because
It's dusk and dawn, right?
yeah, because kangaroos are like pretty nocturnal, but they're most active. Yeah, like they come out at dusk and then
Okay.
start sleeping when the sun comes up because it starts getting hot.
So you just switched on the Australian start
Oh,
sleeping
did I?
when the sun comes up. Love it.
Just a country girl.
All right, CJ, what are you grateful for?
I just got one of those like desks that you can like hit the button and it stands, so you can stand and work.
yeah.
And it's
Sick.
upped my productivity so much.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Because when you're like sitting down, especially for a few hours and you're working, you start slouching and you start like doing this, and then you tab out and watch YouTube for a bit, and you haven't touched the video you're editing. But like once you stand up and you're I guess, yeah, I don't know. Once you're standing, you feel like you have to, like you're on. So
Yeah.
I find like I can like work for longer amounts of time instead of like being so bad with procrastination.
I can't relate because I'm the slouch god when it comes to sitting down.
I was going to say, I sit like a pleb.
I remember you used to get whenever you jump in the chair after me, when we
Yeah.
both used to sit downstairs, and I'd have it right down, and I'd be
That's
sitting
me.
halfway down the chair.
That's me in the backrest.
I love it.
Back a bit, and you just
Yeah. And I'm bad for like, I mean, it's not a proper office chair, but it's a chair enough. At home, I just sit on like a wooden stool for 6 hours at a time. I don't care.
You
Really?
stood on a wooden stool.
No, I sit.
Oh,
sit,
okay.
Just on a shitty, uncomfortable chair.
Jeez.
An old dining chair. I mean, here, my office chair for like 6 years was one of those plastic chairs from outside.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, like,
Yeah.
people like, they sit for hours, they're like, oh, my hips and back. So if your hips and back are already sore, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sit on whatever you want.
Actually, when me and you used to sit down there, I'd have the good chair, and you just sit on whatever.
Yeah, it's the best.
You'd sit on a wrestling chair. That's what you always used to sit on.
Wrestling chair.
Well, what's the proper name of them? You know, like a wrestling chair.
Oh,
ones
the
that you
fold
fold.
out ones.
The wrestling chair.
Oh, yeah. We've
know-
been watching some WWF recently.
Chair shots.
I got an Instagram memory the other day of you. You remember when I went through my standing desk phase?
Oh, yeah.
My standing desk was the seal row.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I just used to put that against the desk and stand and work on it.
Was that
That's
at the
a
old
good
PTC?
idea.
Yeah, but I used to stretch on it at the same time. So I was like working with my leg up on the desk like this. James took a photo of me and put it on Instagram and was like,
That's amazing.
when you've got work at 4 and squats at 5 or something.
Yes.
It looked like
Your leg up.
such an idiot.
So good.
It was a bad phase, a standing desk phase with stretching at the same time. It was ugly as fuck because I had like that and then a little, like one of the block pull blocks on top of it. And I was going through a barefoot phase. So I just looked like a homeless guy. Wandered into the gym and set up camp.
Actually, I went through a little phase where I was sitting with my legs crossed on the floor with my laptop. I need to get back into that, actually.
Have you guys ever seen a kneeling chair?
Yes.
I think I know what you're talking
Yes.
They're real weird. When I worked at Queensland Health, some ergonomic revolution happened and heaps of people got kneeling chairs. And they all look like the biggest idiots. Because you straddle them like you're riding a horse.
Yeah.
And all your weight's on your knees. So you're like kneeling forward and like sitting on this little seat for your butt. So you'd walk around these offices and all these old ladies are like on these weird ass
And it's
horse riding
like a
looking.
Z shape.
It's so
very
weird.
Straddling.
My mum used to work at Flight Center and they went through the Bosu
Bosu
Ball.
Ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd walk and they'd all be like bouncing at the desk. What is happening in here?
Why was that a thing? It
Don't
was
know.
for core strength, eh?
Yeah, something like that. It was in Riccarton Mall. She worked Flight Center.
What are you grateful for, Tom, bro?
What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for my barbecue working out on the weekend.
You killed it, bro.
I haven't nailed it on that offset until the weekend. The weekend was good. It was a good one. I'm
Heavenly.
happy.
I was very grateful for that barbecue as well.
Bet you were.
Thank you, Tom Brass.
So were the dogs. I was very grateful.
All right. We got some quotes. CJ, you got a quote for me, brother?
No,
Yes.
I don't.
Yes, I do.
Look at everyone pull their
It
phones
says-
out.
I forgot.
You can't become a good sailor in calm waters.
Nice.
So, lesson being is that you need the trials and tribulations of life to make you better.
I like it. That's very on brand for you.
Very on brand.
Yeah. It's Gardner and a war quote.
Gardener in a what?
Gardener in a war.
In a war, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be a gardener in war.
All right.
James, go.
Mine's by Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment.
Nice.
Another stoic quote.
I like it. Even always make a total effort, even when the odds are against you. Arnold Palmer.
I don't have a quote. I totally forgot about quotes. All right. I'm just going to type in quotes and read the first one that comes up in images. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Well, that's boring, but it
The
is
change
nice.
you want to see.
What's your favorite alien quote off the top of your head? No Google.
It's a long one, though.
Go on, we got time.
I've already said it.
We
It was
record a
It was the
podcast.
first movie quote that I ever said on here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it again. It's too long. That's my second favorite one.
Favorite Lord of the Rings quote?
Yes.
Toss me.
Toss me.
That's my favorite.
That is a good one. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
That's all right.
All
We
right.
forgive you.
Before we get into some of our topics, what have you guys been up to? Tom, bro, you been jet setting?
Have I?
No, you haven't. I was,
Since last week.
no, I was at your house on the weekend.
Yeah, it was my first weekend with no comps and no work.
You kind of had to
So-
work though. You fucking the barbecue was
It's a labour of love.
that is a labour of love, but it's a 12-hour labour of love.
That's work that costs me money instead of makes me money. It's different. It's different. Yeah, just that. Started a conditioning program this week, so it's all been 1 minute rest periods. Just slamming through it super fast, trying to get a little bit leaner, getting summer ready, pool ready.
Nice.
I'm just sick of being fat, so getting a little bit leaner. And I think I'll do this. Like what it's feeling like is every third block I won't be able to tolerate raw squats heavy. So every third block I think I'll do a little bit more of a conditioning style block,
Nice.
just so I can go a bit harder on the strength training and eating a bit more on the other two alternating blocks. So going to give that a little go. So that's been me. And then I've got this comp on the weekend. We've got Joseph Whitaker competing, Lilley Riley, Matt Stenzel, and honorary mention to Josh Takua, who's also lifting.
Oh, Stenzel's first comp since Pro Raw
know.
2020?
No, not that long ago. He's done one since then, I think. It's been a long time, though. Been a long time. He's had a baby in the meantime and shifted his business and opened a new business. It's been a long while. So he's driving down there this morning. They're doing a trip to Dubbo Zoo.
Dubbo. We went there for a school excursion once.
Yeah. Is the zoo good?
This was a long time ago, but I remember it being really good. I missed the coolest part because I got stung by a bee.
Oh, that's nightmare fuel. Can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I got stung by a
No.
bee and had to get taken away to go and see a nurse. And I missed all the monkeys.
Damn. What about you, James? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I say this every week.
Jit Stogan.
Yeah, just lifting, bit of jits. I had a good weekend actually. Went to yours for a barbecue. Watched some UFC. Watched the rugby. All Blacks making it through to the finals this weekend. World Cup finals, so it's fucking awesome.
Let's go.
Country of what? 3.5 million people.
Up the was.
Up the waz.
Up the was.
Yeah, so the All Blacks are killing it. But what am I doing training-wise? I'm just coming in and kind of doing whatever.
100 for 20. 19.
19. Yeah,
Bruh.
got it. Again.
Oh my gosh.
I'm squatting with a safety bar now. So I'm going to start trying to push that. That's why I asked you, have you ever safety barred 200s? I don't know. I probably should be able to, but I've never
You'll be able to.
I've never safety barred 200.
And that bar's 27A.
24.
24.
Yeah.
Which one?
Kabuki.
Kabuki's 20.
I thought
Nah.
it says 25 on the side.
Oh, it's 25 on the Kabuki?
Yeah.
I know Kabuki's like 25 or something. And then the Oz strength
That
one's
one's like
even
30.
stronger.
That one's
32.
even
32.
stronger.
Yeah.
Even heavier.
No, it's
25.
Well, it says 25 on the side.
I think it is.
Maybe it's 25.
Because I remember you actually hopping on the scale with
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
and it being, 25.
Arbitrary measure of resistance.
Yes. Great bar. Great bar.
Yeah, so just doing that. Bit of jiu-jitsu. It's good. I think I'm averaging, like, including lifting, like 11 sessions a week.
Nice.
And I feel like this is kind of the sweet spot where I'm not 10. I'm lying. I'm sore every day, but it's good. It's tolerable.
Nice.
Until I crash and burn.
Nice. You got all your ducks in a row as well. You're eating well. You're sleeping 8 hours a week.
A week. A week.
I said to Tom Bro the other day, I reckon I slept 90 minutes last night. It was bad.
Yeah. Oh dear. All right, Gidge. What about you? You've been out to the
west.
country.
Yeah, I went out west. Just spent some time with mum and dad. There's not much to do out there, and there's no gym. So I just hung out with all the oldies because it's only the oldies left in town now.
Nice.
So I worked at the op shop on Saturday with mum and dad. They run the op shop on Saturday mornings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, by working at the op shop, it was literally just talking shit to all the locals and drinking coffee all morning. So
Yes.
yeah, it was great. And then Sunday went down to the caravan park and went to the coffee club there with the oldies, and that was pretty much it. Hung out with the next door neighbour's dog a lot, watched a lot of movies, napped a bit.
I like how Bridget prefaced that there's no gym there, so there's nothing to do. Her life fell apart because she couldn't go to a gym. What do I do now?
What do you need a gym for, mate? Cart around some logs, feed the animals, build a fence.
Yeah. Yes.
CJ.
Not much really. I have just started a new training block, strength block, which is really fun actually. Like starting to really slowly put on the weight more, and I'm feeling like sore again from training, which is nice. Not a bad sore, so that's a good thing. Same as James, watched a disappointing UFC card, and yeah,
Got up so early for it as well.
Oh, it's such a horrible feeling. Like you wake up so early and then you have that result and you're like, well, this is a great start to the day. Now I'm going to be depressed all day thinking about this.
For those not in the know, aka me, why was it disappointing?
So the guys that were fighting took the fight on very short notice, and one of them is an Aussie, and he's a very, very, very good fighter. And the guy that he was challenging, he's a guy that James like quoted last week, who's like the real warrior mentality dude. They had a fight a while ago and it was super close, and it's the only one that's really given this guy a run for his money, and the rematch has been so highly anticipated, but he was meant to fight someone else. That guy pulled out, and this guy took the fight on like very short notice, which we didn't like because, you know, we would rather it be a proper rematch, but you know, then he just really wasn't, I guess, on it, and he ended up getting knocked out in the first round.
As in the Aussie guy got knocked out.
Yeah.
He's so gracious though, even in defeat. That just shows how great he is. His nickname's Alex the Great, and he's arguably, before that, he was pound for pound best fighter in the UFC, and he went up a weight class. But like in powerlifting terms, it's like if someone goes, "Hey, do you want to do a comp?" You're like, "Fuck, I haven't prepped for it."
Yeah.
So he had no camp. So normally you want to be, I don't know, for those guys, maybe being like a 16-week camp or something.
Yeah.
Same thing. Would you say that? Would you feel comfortable doing a 16-week like block? Would you feel comfortable doing 16 weeks of prep for powerlifting?
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
Yeah.
12 weeks? 10 weeks?
Yeah. But not 11 days.
Yeah, so he took it on 11 days, and like we said last week, he had to cut 12 kilos.
Something stupid. There was another guy that they asked named Gaethje, but he was 185, so it was too heavy because UFC's got this regulation where you've got to be within a weight limit, so you're not dropping so much, and you know, fighters are dying, and so and it's kind of taken a big hit on his legacy, which is pretty sad because I love the guy.
I don't reckon it's affected his legacy.
I hope not. I really hope
can't,
because that's really heartbreaking.
His stocks have definitely gone down though after it.
Yeah. Did you see the post-fight like conference?
Yeah, it was sad.
I've never.
I could have cried. Yeah.
Why was it sad?
He was just talking about
his mental health,
and he keeps taking these fights because he gets, like, he says he kind of feels like empty when he's not fighting or prepping for a fight.
Not in camp, he gets in his
sad.
own head, and he's hurt. You hear about a lot of fighters get this, but to hear someone actually going through it, that was pretty rough.
And I think this is why we see so many old fighters still trying to hang on to it. And, you know, it's kind of sad when you see an old dude in there, even if they're in the UFC and they're getting fucking towed up by like a, 20-year-old hungry monster. And it's like, you need to retire, bro.
Yeah.
It's interesting, hey, because like it's not unique to UFC. It's any sporting pursuit. It's like, you hear a lot of good, well-meaning coaches sort of saying, don't make powerlifting your identity. There's more to life than this, which is absolutely true. But if you want to excel at any pursuit, you have to make it your identity. And it's like these people at the very top of elite sport like that, they live and breathe it. They consider themselves nothing without it. And it's a catch-22. It's like they have to do that to be the best, and they're the best because they do that. But once that runs out, how do you break that? How do you come out of that if you've made it your entire meaning in life? You gotta just find some new meaning. It's not that simple.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you say that because I've always been I've always leaned towards the don't make this your identity thing. But I think mine comes out of a place of insecurity because I make everything I do like my identity. I just can't help but get so immersed in it. And without sport, it's like, fuck, I wouldn't have anything. Well,
That's why I always clap back against it, because it's like the people that I coach and the people that I want to coach are the people who I want to see make it. If you're not all or nothing, why are you getting coached by me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to make you the best and support you being the best. I don't want to work with people who are like, just doing it for a healthy lifestyle. It's like, yeah, I mean, we are going to support you in that. But if you're picking a personal coach and paying a shitload of money, I'm not the guy for that. I'm the guy to make you the best powerlifter you can be.
100.
So I think it's totally okay to have that mindset. There is implications that come with it.
Yeah. I think it's funny though, because when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was doing like private lessons and stuff. And then I'd always have these little epiphanies. I'm like, why am I doing private lessons? I'm fucking 32 years old. And I don't know, like, do you think that's weird? Like,
No way.
I know. That's what I mean. It's just me being fucking, what's this old dude doing? Like doing privates because he wants to get good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Relax. Stop getting in your head about it.
No, do it. If you want to do it. Sure. Because, I mean, why are you doing jiu-jitsu? You want to be the best jiu-jitsu practitioner you can be. Player, fighter, roller.
Player.
Yeah.
Player, yeah.
Jitstog.
Floor roller.
Floor roller. I've always wondered what the name, because I know for judo you're a judoka.
Yeah.
And karate you're a karateka, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah. But jiu-jitsu, I've never...
We've had this conversation before.
Yes, we have.
Grappler. I don't know.
Grappler, yeah.
All right.
Floor roller.
Powerlifting. Training. Something like that.
All right. First topic is, what is powerlifting? No, it's not.
Waste of time.
No. See, you're the kind of person I don't want to coach, Tom, bro. If you think it's a waste of time.
Exactly. Get serious.
First thing I want to talk about is why a strength athlete should cut and bulk. What is a cut and what is a bulk to begin with?
Where did this question come from?
My brain, to be in all seriousness. Nah, I was just thinking about just how many people do you know that ruin their performances by poor cutting and bulking methods, I guess. Yeah, so I just thought, why should a strength athlete in particular, so why a powerlifting athlete should cut and bulk?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because it highlights the kind of mindset around it, and that's not a dig at you. This is what people think. They're like, oh, I gotta cut for this weight class, or I gotta eat up into this weight class. That's where people go wrong. Is like they commit themselves to a weight class, and then that becomes their identity, to use that same sort of thought process. And then they just don't fully understand the implications of what they're doing. So it's like, if you're weighing around 90 kilos now and you want to go to the hundreds, your goal shouldn't be to fill out the 100 kilo class in 6 months, because that's not going to happen without you just getting fat. And that's what people do. They get fat and then they're like, oh, I'm too fat, I need to get leaner. So they get caught in these cut bulk cycles trying to make these weight classes all the time, and it just screws their performance along the way. Like, we need to reframe our attitude around nutrition to eating for performance while staying as lean as we can in whatever weight class we are, because that's the best powerlifting version of you that there is. Fat doesn't move weight. That's the long and the short of it. Getting heavier doesn't automatically make you stronger. It's just not how it works.
So ideally, Tom, bro, let's just use Bridget for an example. How much do you weigh at the moment, Bridget?
59.7.
59. So in her weight, there's two weight classes she could compete in. One's under 56 and one's under 60. There'd be a part of Bridget that would probably be like, I want to compete under 56s because I'd be stronger there. But there's a part of her that would probably be like, no, I should compete under 60s so I don't have to diet down to the under 56s. Like, what would you do? What would your advice be to someone in a situation like Bridget?
Well, again, it's the same. It's It's reframing it around the right thought process, because that thought process, and a lot of people have it where they're like, I would be stronger in the weight class below. They're looking at their strength currently where they're at with what they're eating and what they're weighing and thinking it's going to be the same through a heavy cut into that weight class. It's just not how it works. It's why people always fuck up at comps. They're like, yeah, I'm better suited to the 74s because they're looking at their strength level while they're walking around at 80 kilos. And then they're like, all the guys that I want to compete against are in the 74, so I'll do this drastic cut to get there. And then they just shit on their performance in the meantime, rather than being like, okay, where am I at with my training and my nutrition? How hard is it going to be for me to get into that weight class? Stop focusing on the actual weights that you're lifting and comparing it to everyone else. Compare it to yourself and where you're currently at and where you can be your best. And almost always, it's not going to be something that's a drastic cut. It's almost always going to be the weight class that you're closest to, which might be a cut, might be a little bit heavier, doesn't matter. The weight class that you're currently closest to, assuming that you're in a relatively lean state and you're eating to maximize performance, you're not in a calorie deficit, that's probably going to be your weight class right now.
And there's also some people that want to lift in a certain weight class because there's certain records that they want to break.
Yeah.
And while there's nothing wrong with that, that shouldn't be your primary focus of staying in a weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely levels to it as well. So what I just said is probably the best general advice you could take. But there are going to be lifters that do have options as to where they can move. So the best example I can draw on this is like Jen Smith. Jen, has a bunch of records in the 60s and the 56s. She's sitting around 56 at the moment. She's got the experience, the strength, the capability to go down to the 52s and break a bunch of 52 records if she wants to, which she does want to do. So she's in the opposite trajectory. She's looking at getting leaner and going down and complementing that with a water cut to get to that weight class, which she's done a million times before. So that's a little bit different in the sense that she's got options to chase multiple weight class records. Caleb Voice is another example. He's got every all-time bench record from like 90 kilos to 125 or something like that. He's got a bunch of these bench records, and he's done it the opposite. He's just gotten heavier and heavier and heavier, with the primary focus being, I'm just going to break every bench record as I go up and up and up.
He was showing me videos of him as an under 83 lifter.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah, in Powerlifting Australia back in the day.
Yep. Way back in the day.
He's so strong, eh? So strong.
Crazy.
Yeah, and obviously the common denominator with the people that Tom Bro just mentioned is they're elite. They're literally the best of the best in our sport.
Yep. And even with that, I still work with a lot of elite lifters that I'll talk out of certain weight classes because they still carry with it that mindset with them. And it all comes down to like, why are you actually committing to this weight class or this cut? Is it a logical reason, or is it some emotional attachment that you have to either a weight class or a number? And then is it realistic? And if it's realistic and doable, sure, go ahead and do it. Most of the time it's just not.
I've got I've got a couple of people that want to so David Wilcock, Masters lifter, he's competed 125s and under 110s, and at the Christmas Cup he wants to compete under 100s.
Yeah.
And for him, I completely understand. It's a health for him. It's a health. It's from a health perspective. He's getting older. He's 63 years old, and I understand he wants to be fit and healthy and he wants to live a long life. And I think for him, like, it's a really good option. And he hasn't been under 100 kilos, and I think he said 10 plus years. So he's like 103 kilos. So it's not far off. So yeah, he's really excited for that. And same thing, there's a few Masters records that he wants to grab there. And then someone like Angus Roxburgh, who's sitting at around 102, 103 kilos as well. He's always been a little bit of a bigger boy. So this will be massive for him. And also what that's going to do is going to set us up really nicely for Nationals next year. So therefore, if he competes at this comp at under 100s, then he's got a lot of leeway. He's got a lot of wiggle room to eat up into that weight class. Not necessarily, like we spoke about, fill out that weight class, because gaining 10 kilos in 5 months or whatever probably isn't that great. So it's just going to make his prep a whole lot more comfier. He's not going to have to be in a deficit. He can eat in a small surplus, and especially those later phases of training, it's going to make those phases a lot more enjoyable.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, we did the same thing with Tom Hardy. He was getting a little bit out of control with his weight because he had the mindset of just keep eating and keep getting bigger. And so when we started doing nutrition 2 years ago, he was like 113. And since then, we've been down to 93, and he's only just gotten stronger and stronger and stronger along the way. Because it's like, man, it's not about how heavy you are. It's about how much muscle you carry. And to maximize a weight class, maximize your performance in the sport of powerlifting, it's better to be carrying more muscle and less fat in a weight class. If you're in the 110s, but you're really a 90 kilo or 100 kilo lifter, because if you were lean, you'd be under 100. Why are you sitting in the 110s? You
look at every single one of the best powerlifters in the world across any federation. They've all got something in common, as they all carry a lot of fucking muscle. They're all jacked out of their brains,
except for the super heavyweights.
Yeah. But even when you look at them when they're younger and like when you see old school photos of Milanichev and that, he looked like a Greek god, eh? Like, yeah. But
and I mean, a lot of the super heavyweight champions aren't that fat; they're just gigantic.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Hellriegel's a perfect example of that. He's got abs in the right lighting. Like, he's huge.
Like, who was on the podium? Like, you look at the podium. The Zero Weakness page posted a photo the other day of just random people, really good lifters at the Zero Pro, and they're all so jacked.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it's really cool because, you know, it just gets rid of that stereotype about powerlifting all being fat and fucking unhealthy and slow. Just eat lollies and drink monsters.
For sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Lollies.
For sure. I know I've said this a billion times on the podcast and everywhere else, but powerlifters tend to do things backwards in the sense that they do a comp, then they get relaxed with their nutrition, they get close to a comp, then they start to tighten it up. They're like, oh, I got to lose a bit of weight. You don't want to be cutting calories while you're going through those strength phases. You want to be doing that straight after a comp so you can stay at maintenance or even in a slight surplus leading into competition. That's going to yield the best performance. So focus on your body composition straight after a comp so you're setting yourself up for the future. Don't get all relaxed and just eat like shit and blow out, because then you're just going to have to undo all that work later on when you're focusing on being stronger, and that's just going to lead to disappointing results on the platform. And so many people get caught in that cycle.
Just because who was on the podium for the women at the Zero Pro? Lilley Riley, Lydia Hankey,
and
Justin Baxley.
Yep.
And they're all jacked.
Very.
They've all got incredible body composition. And who was for the males? Josh Takua.
Yep. T.
Hardy. Chris Whitaker.
Chris Whitaker from Perth, yeah.
And same thing there.
Yeah. All jacked and lean.
Yeah. You can't really, besides, like you said, besides the super heavyweight, you can't, everyone at the best in their weight class, every single one of them has a lot of muscle tissue. They're all juiced. Not, juiced, like jacked.
Very juicy.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Is cardio a good weight loss tool?
Why wouldn't it be?
I think the better question would be, what kind of cardio is a good weight loss tool? If you're a powerlifter and your goal is to compete in powerlifting and you need to cut weight, I wouldn't suggest going for a run every day or, doing some high intensity interval training, which a lot of people do. Some people don't know that you can just get your steps up, and, that low intensity steady state cardio is more beneficial than going for a run or whatever.
Swimming's good.
Swimming's good if you can swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in, no. I mean that seriously. Like, as in, to get enough output, you need to be able to last long enough.
Yeah.
So you have to have technique. You have to have the ability to be able to do laps. But it's very low impact on your body for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. When I learned how to swim a few years ago, part of my mindset was, I'm going to do this for cardio. But I never got good enough to be able to do it for cardio.
Yeah.
I'll stick to walking. But I mean, like, again, I would pick apart the language and say it's the wrong question. As in, we shouldn't just be looking at cardio as a tool for weight loss. Can it contribute towards that? Yeah, absolutely it can. But we've said this on the podcast before, powerlifters should be doing cardio regardless, just for general health and fitness. It makes you feel better. It makes you perform better. It makes you better in your day-to-day life, makes you sleep better. There's just so many endless benefits to it for something that's so low barrier. But 100% agree with what you're saying, James, in terms of the right type of cardio is what matters most. Can it be a good tool for weight loss? Yeah, for sure. So it can be eating less. At the end of the day, it just comes down to an equation, output and input, right? Output of activity and input of food. As long as you're doing more than what you're eating, you're going to lose weight.
Do you track your steps, or do you just know you walk an hour every day? And
No, I've never. I have the only time I've ever seen my step count is when I'm with someone who's tracking theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I've never done it in my entire life. Besides, Queensland Health gave us pedometers for some challenge once in like 2000 and I don't know. I would have been placement like 2011. That's the only time I've had a pedometer. But I don't take my phone with me when I walk.
That's good. Yeah, the only time I've tracked my steps was when I broke my ribs.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't really do anything. I need some other metric that I can, I need some data that I can follow or, keep track of, because I couldn't train. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this would be nice. Try to get 10,000 steps a day. But other than that, I don't either.
I reckon I'd average like 12 to 15,000 a day most days.
Because do you walk an hour every day?
Yeah, it's been. I'm still finding routine at the new place, but historically, at least.
Because that would be a lot.
Yeah, now it's going to be like 2 45-minute walks, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Just got a bit more time now that I don't spend 6 hours a day driving to the gym. But yeah, cardio absolutely fantastic, and like you said, pick the right time.
What would be the cardio you'd suggest for powerlifters?
Honestly, the one that you can do consistently and enjoy. Like even you saying don't just go out and go for a run, that's you coming from a runner's perspective that knows what running is and technique and everything like that. You could go out and run for cardio if you wanted to, because you know how to, right? So if you know how to run, nothing wrong with running for sure. But for the average punter powerlifter, something between either walking, cycling, rowing, swimming, something low impact, very easy, low barrier to entry that you can do in an enjoyable fashion and stick to consistently.
Yeah, I've got a tip for you as well if you are wanting to do a little bit more cardio. Keep your heart rate. If you've got a wearable heart rate monitor or some kind of tracking device, like a good metric to use is try to get 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Yep. But another thing is if you are going to try to do some cardio and you want to keep it a low intensity and a steady state, you want to try to keep your heart rate below 150. That's just a good general piece of advice. That's called zone 2. So you want to keep it around there.
And why?
Well, that's the... So I just go by the zones off my watch. But so zone 2 is anaerobic and zone 3 is aerobic. So you just want to... Wait, am I right? Have I got that mixed up?
That'd be aerobic.
Yeah, I got around the wrong way.
Yeah, zone 3 would be like huffing, puffing.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but
because your rule of thumb is you should be able to talk while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, like when people be like, "Yo, you guys did 35 kilometers," it's like we spoke the entire time.
Yeah,
it wasn't hard. Like our legs got heavy, our legs got sore, but you want to be able to talk the entire time. So yeah,
nice. It's just about being able to go the distance, right?
That's it.
Like if I was walking as hard as I can, I couldn't talk and think. So and as a result, I'd gas out quicker. It's just like I'd rather go for time and distance rather than speed.
That's it. You just want to accumulate time on your legs.
Yeah.
Time
and attention.
I really want to get into hiking. Hiking
Nice.
would be fun cardio.
Nice.
Bernie's doing Mount Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko?
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's the tallest mountain in Australia.
In
right?
Australia.
Where is
He's
it?
not really, is he?
Yeah.
Mount Kosciuszko.
Bernie hikes every weekend. For a bloke that can't move his shoulders above his head.
Who's Bernie?
Where is Mount? He's at the electrician? Are they electricians? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Where is Mount Kosciuszko?
I don't know.
No idea.
I didn't know it was Australian.
ACT?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe? I don't know. I could be way off.
Wow.
I know where Mount Tambourine is.
Mount Tambo.
I know where Mount Gravatt is. That's about it.
Mount Druitt.
Nice.
Druitt.
Home of the brave. Have you ever done Mount Warning?
No.
Yeah.
You guys?
No, did they close the top of it now though? I heard it was closed off for a while.
Why?
I think it's like sacred Aboriginal land or something. I'm not sure.
Really?
But it was just recently. But I don't know if it's
okay.
open back up now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The only one I've done in Australia is like one or two of the Glasshouse Mountains on the
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast.
I used to do heaps back in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like I've done St. James, that big 5-day one. I've done Abel Tasman. I've hiked and kayaked.
Wait.
Yeah, wow.
5 day?
Yeah, so you stay in little cabins along the way.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was snowing. It was cool.
5
far out.
days.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And then like, so obviously you sleep in the cabins and then you're hiking for what? How
Another
long
day?
each day? The whole day.
Yeah. But you stop along the way, have lunch, and
Is that 5 days on the way there? Or there
I
and
think
back?
it's a loop.
Oh, it's a loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hiked a
Gosh, that's a
volcano
long time.
on Reunion Island once, and it was like being on Mars.
What's Reunion Island?
Reunion Island is a French island in between Madagascar and Mauritius off the coast of Africa.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and
crazy.
like, because it's still active and it erupts like
You've
every
been to Africa?
I haven't been to Africa, off the coast of Africa,
Wow.
but every 2 years it erupts on average,
Yeah,
and so like
far
the
out.
whole and the island gets bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and the whole thing is just like all dried up lava. So yeah, it was like being on another planet.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What else have I got here? How to properly train to failure.
Oh. Where did this question come from?
My brain as well. Nah, I saw a video the other day, and it's this young kid, Tom Lane, that trains. He actually knows him, and he trains at Good Life, and he's been posting. He generates a lot of followers and viewings and clicks and whatever, just because his leg sessions look nuts. They're like Tom Platt's equivalent.
Yeah, okay.
So he just goes crazy, and then I like watching that stuff. It's cool. Not particularly his content, but like.
Just people training hard.
Yeah. That's what I like. And then I see so many people, fitness influencers, picking it apart, going on about why training like this is bad for you and whatever. And I'm whatever. Like, that kid likes it. Yeah, I don't really care what he's doing, and he's enjoying it, and he's just sharing the way he trains. I don't think he's really hurting it. Do you think he's harming anyone?
No?
Nah. Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't think he didn't say this is how you should train.
Yeah.
He just said this is how I train. But when you guys think about training to failure, like, how would you guys properly train to failure?
You mean how would you like properly implement training to failure?
Yeah.
I think it's got its time and place for sure. I think you need to be able to train to failure to understand how to actually use things like RPE and RIR. Like it's that saying, you don't know what a 10 is until you've gone to 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important for developing mental grit, for knowing where your actual limits are, and overcoming, that mind versus body battle that comes with any pursuit of training. Because your mind will give up way before your body does in most things.
Always.
In most things. And not just like from I can't do this perspective, but your body has a lot of protective feed-forward mechanisms to stop you from doing dumb stuff that happen way before bad stuff actually happens. So a good example of this is thirst or hunger. You'll feel hungry or thirsty way, way, way before your body is dehydrated or needs food to the point where you're actually at danger. It's a protection mechanism to say, drink a little bit more, eat a little bit more to make sure that we don't go way too far and then end up hurting ourselves. And it's the same things, like kind of signals that your body will give your brain will give your body to say, stop doing that thing. You can push through that. You can go way past that. And so I think it's really good at just teaching you to be able to ignore some of those signals within reason, like not doing dumb stuff, but just being like, I can push, developing that mental grit. So to answer the question, how and where would you use it? I'd use it especially with more inexperienced lifters, throwing in some AMRAPs. I think it's great for just fun, but to also enhance all those other benefits and just to like push yourself and your friends and have a bit of healthy competition. And yeah, I
like using it, especially if someone's, very far out from competition, just to keep, some fresh goals. Because, it's pretty easy to forget why you're doing, the certain task at hand. It's like, fuck, I've got this comp in a million weeks. Training's a little bit monotonous. It's a little bit boring. I'm just kind of grinding out each week by week. So it's pretty fun to set some little goals in there. What I like to do is I might like to program someone like a top set at 0.5 RIR. And then maybe in week 4, I'll challenge them to try hit that set again, but for X amount of reps. A top set, maybe some back downs. AMRAPs are really fun. By week 4, I want you to try AMRAP this for X amount of reps. Just same thing. Just program it intelligently. Don't do it too often. Don't do it with every exercise. I think a top set is really like a really fun way to do it. And do some back downs. I think that's fine.
Yeah, one thing I like doing with myself, to keep my mind fresh with this sort of stuff is I use RIR training, and say if I'm doing a leg press or a hack squat or something like that, I might program 2 really hard sets with the 1 or 2 RIR. And on the first set, I'll have a rep number in mind. I'll go towards that, and then I'll just keep going until I hit that RIR. That's fine. I establish that rep count. Let's say I'm going for 12 and I hit 13. Cool, that's my 1 RIR. On the next set, I'm like, I have to match that. And once I match that, I'm going to go to whatever I believe the 1 RIR is. And it's almost always more than it was the first time, which is like, okay, the first one you actually did bitch out. So it really teaches you that you've often got a little bit more than what you think you have. The easiest way to unlock that is just have someone else tell you that you can do more. Like have a coach there pushing you and being like, you're not done. You got more. Yeah,
you've been flying very close to the sun in your sessions of Tom Bro.
Sometimes.
Sorry.
with leg press, definitely.
But that's cool. That's just like a reminder that it's like, fucked. I remember you said.
Because I used to bitch out on leg press all the time.
Well, that's what you said after your first session with Tom Bro. You're like, I fucking don't train hard enough.
Yeah. with most accessories, I don't.
Nice.
And it's cool. Like you said, sometimes you just need that reminder. Fuck, I can do way more.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's call it there and do what did you have some fun stuff, Bridget?
Well, I've got some on this days and a few quiz questions for you guys if you're interested. Some of the on this days are actually from yesterday.
That's cool.
From when I was looking them up. But we'll start with those. So on this day, actually yesterday, Drake was born. It was Drake's birthday. He was 37 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday in the 6th. 6. Over the baby.
And in 1945, yesterday, the UN was established.
Wait, Drake's got the same birthday as my dad. That's sick.
Was it your dad's birthday yesterday? Happy birthday, Mr. Hendry. Does he listen to the podcast?
Big fan.
Do your mum and dad listen to the podcast?
No, my mum and my brother do.
Really?
Yeah. My mum watches
it.
My mum sends, I've told you this, my mum will send me a video of her watching the podcast and she'll record it for like 8 minutes. I'm like,
I was on it.
Yeah,
I know.
My dad will call me and be like, mate, have you heard of these things podcasts? I keep reading about them in the paper and I don't understand.
In the paper. I love that.
I think my mum and dad just watch the reels that CJ makes and that's about it. Because they noticed we hadn't done one in a while.
Yes.
But they don't really understand reels either or how stories work. Because dad will be like, I commented on that thing that you posted, but then I tried to find it again and it disappeared. And then I went to comment on it again, but I accidentally commented on your cousin Ashley's video of the sunrise. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that it wasn't about her video. So I just went along with it.
I remember my brother rang me after one of the podcasts and he's like, fuck, you added some GST to that story. Like,
GST. I love that GST.
Jazzed it up a little bit more. I'm like, brother, it's going to be entertaining.
GST.
That's right.
That's in Australia.
Yeah.
It's GST.
Just remember, this podcast is based on actual events.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Where were we? Yeah, the UN was established on this day in 1945. So the United Nations, the world's premier international organization, established at the end of World War II to maintain world peace and friendly relations among nations.
Yeah, I was going to say that's straight after World War II.
Yeah, like immediately
it's going
after.
well.
I was going to say,
I was just thinking
how's that working out for us?
I was thinking the same thing. And today, it's Pablo Picasso's birthday today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love that television show, Narcos.
Yeah, I was about to make an Escobar joke as well. Fuck, beat me to it.
You're Pablo.
Nice.
And Rosa Parks died on this day.
Oh, back of the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. And the 40-hour work week went into effect in the United States of America. And do you know when they originally made the 40-hour work week, it was designed to be a 2-person household where one person stays home and one goes to work. But now everybody works a 40-hour work week.
It was a Henry Ford thing, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Did he start it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. He did.
Pretty sure.
He did. It was Henry Ford.
Well, there you go. All right, I got some questions for you guys. Sporting questions. All right, which team sport has the most participation, even down to the grassroots level?
Soccer.
So, yeah. Easy.
Football.
Very, very easy. All right, which sport pays the highest salary?
Soccer.
No.
Really?
Formula One.
No.
Boxing?
Golf.
No.
Tennis.
Basketball.
Yes.
Basketball.
NBA.
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
so. Yeah.
Something you didn't know about basketball.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. All right, which sport brings in the most revenue?
Soccer.
No.
NFL?
Yes.
Yeah. Thought so.
Nice.
The
CJ.
Super Bowl.
Who's the highest paid athlete of all time?
Soccer.
Highest paid athlete. I'm looking for a name.
Floyd Mayweather?
No. I think it's like spanning over their entire career.
Ronaldo.
No.
It's not Ronaldo.
Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael
wow.
Jordan.
Well, he's the highest net worth of any sportsman. Yeah.
So it must like highest paid as in from all the endorsements and
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And which sport has the most deaths?
Oh.
Powerlifting.
Formula One?
No, I think like extreme sports.
Motocross.
Base jumping.
Skydiving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, base jumping.
Base jumping.
Base jumping.
That's a fucking. You got to be a lunatic to do that.
It's
eh?
pretty crazy
I
what they
I
do.
wanted to do it. I remember I used to obsess over this base jumping video. Do you guys know who Jeb Corliss is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sail video where he jumps
Yeah.
off, what's the name of that mountain? It was just insane. I used to sit there and just watch it like over and over and obsess over it.
Base
and wanted
jumping
to do
isn't
it.
the wingsuit thing, eh?
That's proximity flying. So that's a part of base jumping. But
Okay.
regular base jumping is just when they jump and pull the parachute straight away.
Oh.
But Jeb Corliss was a proximity flyer.
Gosh.
Just quickly before we wrap it up, what have you been watching, Tom Bro, lately?
Lord of the Rings.
Anything else?
So good.
Nah.
What about you, CJ?
No, nothing.
Bridget?
I've been watching American Horror Story and then a bit of Goosebumps and WWF.
Is American Horror Story the one with Lady Gaga in it?
That's one of them. Yeah,
One of
there's
them, yeah.
heaps of different seasons.
I don't know if you're allowed to say WWF.
Well,
Well-
this is the Attitude Era back when it was WWF.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
We're
I,
watching like
I,
the 90s, 2000s.
I don't think you're allowed to say it anymore though.
Yeah, you're not.
Why?
WWE. So when they refer to it back then, they still refer to it as WWE.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got sued by the
By
WWF.
WWF.
How good was those shirts with like the two pandas with chairs? It said WWF on it. So good.
Me and Bridget been going down the rabbit hole on binge.
Yeah.
It's got every season of WWE.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
way back, going back to like
to the
Like even like
2000s.
Hulk Hogan and
Yeah. Well, we went back.
wasn't he World Championship Wrestling? Hulk Hogan?
He was
or was
both.
he okay.
Yeah, but we went back to 1997, and then we're like, fuck. Even that was like real old school, and then we started watching like 1999.
2000, I think we
2000,
started
yeah.
watching. That was like the
That's all
Stone
on
Cold
binge.
peak days.
yeah.
If you guys just want to watch two athletic freaks, type in Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle.
He's in your profile picture at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with bro. I just want to neck like him.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, his
Wow.
neck is wider than his head.
He's
Or it was
someone-
wider than his head.
He's someone that could have chosen whatever sport and
He
it would have been
literally
successful.
did choose whatever sport he wanted to.
and then was really good at it.
I reckon they're massively underrated athletes.
Yeah.
They have to be jacked and fit.
Uh-huh.
We
They
were
have
talking
to
about
have
this.
they're actors. They have to be able to act. The entire thing is choreographed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like professional stuntmen as well. Like, there's so much.
And then
like,
if stuff doesn't go to plan, you have to improvise as well.
Exactly.
Like it's just
Live stuntmen.
And that's
Yeah.
what the
Live,
and I
yeah.
didn't realize. Like, so Bridget was asking, does the ref actually have a purpose? And I'm like, yeah, he's got to make sure that he has to call some shots.
Yeah.
If something doesn't go to plan, he has to
Yeah.
figure out what they have to do now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it's pretty fucking. No wonder why wrestlers' bodies are so beat up. It's just voluntary fucking.
Yeah.
are the refs mic'd up?
I'm not too sure.
Like I wonder how many blunders there's been with like them saying stuff and the crowd catching wind of it.
There is on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you look at it on YouTube, yes, there are. There's stuff where you the camera actually picks up. Sometimes the wrestlers are like, oh, that's my arm's done. Pin me, just pin me. Like they'll say stuff like that. Yeah.
Like there's a video of Vince McMahon running into the ring and he tears both quads, jumping into the ring.
just sits in the ring with his legs out.
Still in character, and it's just on the crowd.
Bro,
Blown out both knees.
that guy's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy himself is incredible. Like how jacked and fit he is for like a 70-something-year-old man. And just
Did you
how
say like 81?
Almost. No, he's 2 years younger than Joe Biden.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're talking about it on that
Wow.
podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, like look at him versus Joe Biden. But just even like the business savviness of
Yes.
of keeping that thing
Yes.
rolling for as long as it's been rolling and still being as massive as it is.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable.
And you were saying it's cool how he used to make himself the villain. Like,
He made
even though
himself
he's
the villain forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever used to watch it?
A little
back in the
bit.
day? You remember the rivalry between him and Stone Cold Steve
Yes.
Austin? How good that was.
A little bit.
Oh,
Like
so good.
Yeah.
all the bullies that used to beat me up were into it, so they used to do wrestling moves on me. So I had a vendetta against it as a kid. And so, like, as an adult now, I realize how cool it actually is. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Give us 5 stars. We love it. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the ZeroW Podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, ZeroW_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.